We talked about 6 men. Well, kasama naman natin ang ating third man or at least ang ating first woman in the coverage na si Sydney Crespo for tonight. Sid, kamusta ka naman dyan at the sidelines?
Hi, Mix and Javi. Okay naman ako. Napaka-exciting ng second game natin and mukhang exciting rin tong ating third game. So, abangan natin yan.
Alright, so mamaya papakinggan po natin si Sydney for her latest reports about Muntinlupa and Sarangani. Now, let's talk about the team standings para malaman natin kung nasaan sa Mpbl season ang ating dalawang koponan. We have the South Division, Muntinlupa and Sarangani, part of that.
Yeah, Sarangani now on a 2-game winning streak after tasting defeats at the hands of the likes of Nueva Ecija and Zamboanga. They have been able to get back on the winning track now, cementing their spot at the number 3, the position of the team standings in the South, while Muntinlupa still struggling to find its bearings here in this season at 2 and 4 at number 8.
Sarangani, you talked about their back-to-back wins. The recent one was against Laguna. At wala kang Kit Jimenez pero walang problema para sa Sarangani Marlins kung saan namuno sina Ivan Ludovice, Donald Gumaro, and Gabby Espinas.
Yeah, and this is a good sign para sa Sarangani Marlins, especially as we go deeper into the season, because it just goes to show that it's not all a Kit Jimenez show for the Sarangani Marlins. Different players stepping up, Gabby Espinas, as you mentioned, Ivan Ludovice, and Donald Gumaro able to get the production in this game para sa kanila. Look at that, 44 bench points compared to the 27 of the Sarangani Marlins. And even though konti lang yung points in the paint nila, tingnan mo naman yung 3-point production nila in that game. 12 out of 33 for 36.4% para sa Sarangani.
And speaking of 3-point shooting, of those 12 3-point makes, 6 dyan, kalahati ay nanggaling sa isang manlalaro lamang. At yan na nga, si Ivan Ludovice. 6 3-point makes out of 7 attempts. 22 big points for him.
He has been ably backing up Kit Jimenez in the scoring department para sa Sarangani. A grizzled veteran here in the Mpbl, Ivan Ludovice. Lagi mo yan maaasahan when it comes to scoring. Always ready and always primed to contribute for his squad.
You see his season averages 13.5 points per ball game as the leader of the Sarangani Marlins. Now let's talk about the Muntinlupa Cagers. In their previous game, they lost against Rizal by 4 points. Now in that game, Domark Matiliano led the way with 21 big points, but they fell short against Rizal.
Yeah, and contrastingly to Sarangani, itong Muntinlupa, Matiliano has come up with great performance after great performance. Kaya lang wala siya masyadong katulong, and it showed here, despite them shooting a better percentage, those bench points that they allowed to Rizal, 33-17, was a big factor. They dominated the points in the paint, but again, their 3-point field goal shooting was absent in that match. That's something that they have to improve on to be able to pull away from their opponents in their coming games, especially now in Sarangani on their home floor.
A lot of people needing to step up for Muntinlupa with the absences as well of Mac Montilla and Argel Mendoza, but that guy has surely stepped up. Domark Matiliano, he is the #1 scorer so far in the MPBL.
He has proved to really rise up from all the players here in this league this season. 19 points per game, had 21 in that game against Rizal. He will look to have another great performance in this match, but he needs ample support from the rest of his teammates for the Cagers to have a good chance against the Sarangani team who want to extend their winning run to 3.
Well, let's see where that support will come from. Muntinlupa currently with 2 wins, 4 losses, with 3 straight defeats here in the MPBL. Now let's turn you over to Richard Tapos for our starting lineups.
A pleasant evening, Muntinlupa Sports Complex, and welcome to our main game. It's the Sarangani versus your Muntinlupa Cagers. This is the OK Bet Manny Pacquiao's MPBL 4th season, presented by Extreme. Let's make way for the starting lineups, beginning with Sarangani Marlins OK Bet. At forward number 26, Paulo Quiminales. Playing center number 22, Rick Kaunan. Starting at guard number 18, Tricky Peromingan. Forward number 11, Paul Sanga. One guard number 4, Don Gumaru. Sarangani Marlins OK Bet is led by Master JK John Calios. Assistant coaches Gilbert Cole, Andrew Bellarmino, Joshua Inocentes, and Jester Macabagdal. Team manager J.R. Navarro. Coaching consultant Bonnie Garcia, and team owner, the good man himself, Johnny B. And now, the starting five for your Muntinlupa Cagers! Starting at forward number 7, Harold Arboleda. Coming in at center number 14, Ivan Villanueva. Power forward number 10, Eugene Madera. Shooting guard number 9, your very own from Barangay Kupang, Vincent Alba. And at point guard number 22, Puroy Cantimbuhan. Muntinlupa Cagers head coach is Jules Hidalgo. Assistant coaches Vinci Salvador and JC Libunao. Team manager is Tristan Tahan. Referees for this ball game are Ramon Santiago Jr., Eduardo Villarosa.
Your starters for Sarangani and Muntinlupa. Again, no Kit Jimenez in today's ball game. We have Don Gumaru, Ricky Perumingan, Enrique Caunan, Paolo Jimenez, and Paul Sanga. Then for your home team, John Cantimbuhan, the homegrown Ralph Alba, alongside Ivan Villanueva, Mark Madera, and Harold Arboleda. Couple of injuries para sa Muntinlupa Cagers. Si Argel Mendoza and Mac Montilla, who is currently in uniform, but we will see if he will be playing in today's ball game. Right now, Muntinlupa with a record of 2 wins and 4 losses. 3 straight losses para sa kanila in the Mpbl. And for Sarangani, they have 7 wins and 2 losses to their name. Back-to-back wins for the Marlins. Mix Gomez at your service alongside Javi Palanya and Sidney Crespo. Your third game at hand for your Mpbl Friday, and the first game being aired on 1PH on a Friday dito sa ating 2022 OK Bet Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Sarangani on the run. Here's Paul Sanga for 3. That's good.
And right away, picking up from where they left off in their last match, hitting a 3-point shot to begin this one. Paul Sanga getting the first 3 points of this game.
Now, we always talk about Paul Sanga as a streaky shooter. If he starts off very well, more often than not, he will continue playing very well. Donald Gumaru losing space, and that's a turnover.
And this is something that Muntinlupa has to be able to prevent, the transition attack nitong Sarangani, because when they are able to get easy points in transition, that really gives them a lot of margin against their opponents, because alam naman natin sa half-court game nila, they go a lot to Gabby Espinas in the post, but the guards like Donald Gumaru and Ricky Perumingan, they like to finish in the break.
Perumingan looking to cover B-Boy Engio, and he's able to get that stop. Former Adamson Soaring Falcon, fresh off a stint in the UAAP. That's Ricky Perumingan. Here's Donald Gumaru. Gumaru in their previous game had 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. Air ball on that try.
That's not a good shot by Gumaru. Defense was all over him. B-Boy Engio outstretched arms to challenge that shot.
3-0 our score. 1.5 gone by in the opening quarter. Here's John Cantimbuhan, who's emerged as one of the stars of Muntinlupa because of the absence of Argel Mendoza, who got injured a couple of games back when he got hit by Andretti Stevens on his knee. And we were able to talk to him about it. Last time I was able to talk to him, wala pa siyang MRI, but he was not able to move laterally.
Oh, that's not always a good sign, but we wish him the best in his recovery. We hope it's nothing serious as Villanueva goes for the back shot. Engio offensive rebound.
Muntinlupa still scoreless here on their home court. Remember the last time that they won, it happened here as Paul Sanga will miss. Cagers still looking for their first points of the ball game. Cantimbuhan, and he will go to the line.
This is a guy who has to step up in this match. Talking about John Cantimbuhan Jr. played almost the whole game in that match against Rizal, 36 minutes, but only 9 points to show for, 4 out of 10 from the field. That that will not cut it para sa Muntinlupa with the absence of guys like Argel Mendoza. So he will really have to do a better job of contributing in the scoring department para sa Cagers.
John Katimbuhan does average 30.5 minutes per ball game. Good for number 7 in the league. But that's behind two of his teammates, na sina Harold Arboleda and Domart Matiliano. So it really is a short rotation for Muntinlupa.
Yeah, and Biboy Engyo now starting this game after not seeing action in that game against Rizal. We all know what he can do. Ang tanong, can he show it in this one?
Basket here by Tricky Peromingan. You mentioned Biboy Engyo. That guy also coming off of an injury dahil natamaan siya ni the big guy Steven Codal in their practice. And anytime you get hit by a Steven Codal, that's gotta hurt.
Here's that shot by Peromingan off of that pass. One dribble pull-up, all nylon para sa kanya.
5-1 our score. Sarangani in control. Again, they are seeded number 3 in the South Division. Paul Sanga, that's way too easy. But it's short on the attempt. Peromingan, second try. Another miss. Now, possession belongs to Muntinlupa. Vincent Alva just not able to control that basketball. And they have yet to score on the field.
A lot of offensive rebounds being given up early on by the Muntinlupa Cagers, but Sarangani just not able to get those second chance opportunities to fall.
Lumalabas, Donald Gumaru. Paul Sanga's turn. He will fire. Now he's down to 25% from downtown. 1 out of 4. Good tap by Katimbuhan. 2-on-1. And Engyo will score the first field goal for Muntinlupa.
Just because someone is ahead of you doesn't mean that you have to give it up right away. And that's great timing on the pass by Katimbuhan, baiting the defender first before giving it up to Engyo for the easy deuce.
Katimbuhan, one of the revelations in the season of the Mpbl. Can he continue his great performance in today's ball game? Donald Gumaru will miss. Sarangani now struggling from the field. Katimbuhan commanding things for the purple shirts. That's off of Sarangani. Pasok dito si Ivan Nudevice para sa Sarangani Marlins.
And if you're Sarangani, you don't want to fall in love with the three-point shot. You know your capabilities of scoring from that distance. But when it doesn't fall for you, you have to resort to other ways of scoring the basketball. Paul Sanga has missed his last 3 three-point shots after scoring on his first attempt, the first 3 points of this game.
Katimbuhan onto Ivan Villanueva. He needs a teammate. Shot clock down to 7. He decides to post up. Villanueva, hook shot, no go, rebound. Andoy Estrella. Great to see him back here in the Mpbl. Jimenez onto Ludovice. 15 on the shot clock. Andoy. Couple of moves. Kick out to Jimenez. Shot is good. Paulo Jimenez does not see a lot of action usually para kay Coach John Calios, but he has had some rare starts for Sarangani that time around, making it worth it, as this time out is brought to you by Embassy Whiskey. Chill muna tayo. At chill nga muna tayo dahil maaga pa sa ating laro. 5.5 to go in the first quarter. Our score is 7-3.
Welcome back. This is Maharlika, Pilipinas Basketball League. It's the missing core for Coach Jules Hidalgo ang talagang main challenge for Muntinlupa. His short options syempre caused by injuries. Dagdag na si Argel Mendoza na nag-hyperextend ang tuhod in the last game. Pero para sa Muntinlupa, move forward pa rin. As Coach Jules' reminder, we win and we lose as a team. And continuous lang daw ang kanilang efforts. For Sarangani naman, Kit Jimenez is still recovering from his quad strain injury and has been out for 2 weeks. Umattend pa rin daw si Kit ng practices to show his support sa kanyang team. Back to the panel.
That's always a great sign, no? Na kahit pilay ka, nanonood ka pa rin ng practices, ng games. Kit Jimenez got hit hard by Andretti Stevens in their game in Marikina. He was able to finish that game with 32 points. Sabi niya sa atin, it's because of adrenaline. But after that, bigla nang sumakit yung kanyang quads, no, as mentioned by Sydney. At ngayon, nahihirapan pa siyang maglakad. So to all of the fans of Kit Jimenez who waited for this game, we're gonna have to wait a little more. Pero magbabalik pa naman ang inyong iniidolo. Right now, he is supporting at the sidelines for Sarangani.
And you know, emerging as the leader here for Sarangani, that's just a great sign. Showing up in practice despite the injury, showing up in games to support your team, that's a great morale booster for the other players on the squad. And that gives a lot more motivation for players like Ivan Ludovice to produce in his absence.
Ludovice did have 22 points in their previous game. Now he scores his first 2 points against Muntinlupa.
And to add to that, pagbalik ni Kit, it'll be even easier for him on the floor because right now there are more players that the defense has to check instead of just focusing on Kit.
Now it's Andoy Estrella as another problem para sa Muntinlupa. Remember, Estrella was part of San Juan before. He was part of that Quezon City team that was run and gun. We all know what he can do. Such a talented player. Just missing on that shot. Rebound Engyo. Muntinlupa, they have struggled to score. Over halfway done in the opening quarter. Where can they find the answer? Cantimbuhan working with Villanueva. Ivan, the spin. Hook shot is good.
And finally, the crowd getting into it. Need a lot more of those kinds of moves.
Well, that's the thing about Ivan Villanueva. He will always be a crowd favorite, whether or not we are in Muntinlupa. Estrella almost had a 3-second violation. 8 on the shot clock. Paul Sanga with his second 3.
Short-term memory, that's all you need when you're a shooter like Paul Sanga, despite missing a lot of shots. Getting that one to go and giving his team a 5-point advantage.
2 out of 5 3-point shooting para kay Paul Sanga. Oh, sorry pass. Cantimbuhan. He thought he was going to pass it to Villanueva, who was not ready for that basketball. As we take a look at that beautiful spin by the big guy, banking it in for 2.
And you know, it's those instances as we look at this 3-point shot by Paul Sanga. Left wide open this time, making the pay on that occasion. It's those instances, that previous offensive possession of Muntinlupa, that still proves that they are still in the process of learning how to understand each other's tendencies and to building that chemistry. So still a lot more to come para dito sa Cagers. Nowhere to go but up definitely para sa kanila.
And to your point, they are the latest team to be added in this 22-team roster of the Mpbl 2022 season. Muntinlupa came in just weeks ago at sunod-sunod ang kanilang mga laro, and they're doing it ng pilay-pilay pa sila. So big challenge for the home team as John Cantimbuhan gets the foul. Danny Marilao checks in for the first time. Papalitan si Paolo Quiminales. Let's talk about John Cantimbuhan some more. This guy, we talked about his minutes, but moreover, he is shooting the ball at a very efficient 50% from the field. That's number 8 in the league. That's very high, especially for a guard.
Yeah, that's because he's able to break down the defense with his speed, with his dribbling ability, and at times making plays for his teammates, always keeping the defense guessing. That's why he gets great opportunities at the basket, hence the high shooting clip.
And now we're seeing as well si Domark Matiliano para sa Muntinlupa. who's being matched up against Andoy Estrella. Matiliano, again, is the top scorer in the league, and he averages the most minutes for Muntinlupa, 33.4, because he also is the #1 player in the league in terms of minutes averaged per game. Ball tapped outside. It will remain with Sarangani.
And I believe Coach Jules Hidalgo had Domark Matiliano coming off the bench because he saw in that previous game that bench point stat department 17 to 33. Only 17 for the Cagers in that one. So they want to get a spark off the bench, and that's in the name of Domark Matiliano.
To your point, Matiliano's averaging more than 17 per ball game. The question is, can he contribute for Muntinlupa in today's ball game as Danny Marilao proceeds to the line for 2 free throws? Again, this is the first game aired on 1PH on a Friday. So maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood ng Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. But you can catch all the games in the Facebook Live, in the YouTube channel of the MPBL. Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. First game at 5 p.m., second game at 7 p.m., third game at 9 p.m. At patuloy po ang pag-ikot ng MPBL sa ating bansa. Today, we are in Muntinlupa. Tomorrow, we will be in Pampanga. And on Monday, balik tayo sa Nueva Ecija, where it will be a battle between two of the titans in the league. The Rice Vanguards, currently undefeated against the Zamboanga Family's Brand Sardines. Ivan Villanueva, too strong, battled for the rebound. And there is a call against Sarangani.
I believe that's going to be on Reggie Boy Basibas. It makes. I just want to point out, the importance of having a guy like Matiliano coming off the bench. It gives a lot of value to a team because when your starters go out flat, you could expect a guy like Matiliano to carry the fight for that second or third unit. And that's what guys like Mano Ginobili, these guys, Jamal Crawford, those 6 men, they really give that spark coming off the bench, especially when your starters don't start the way that you want to.
Right now, we still haven't felt the presence of Domark Matiliano, but we have felt the presence of Eugene Madera, who is now at the line. First free throw is good, getting the foul from Gabby Espinas. Muntinlupa, they have had to work very hard for their points here in the first frame as they try to reach double figures under 2 minutes remaining. Hindi pa rin naabot, but the lane violation against Sarangani.
And free throws have not been the strongest suit para dito sa Cagers. Only 9 out of 18 in that game against Rizal. Something they really need to work on, especially against these big teams in the standings.
What would you say is a good percentage at the line for a team?
Around 70 to 80% per game. That really is the most ideal percentage. Of course, mahirap abutin yung 90 tsaka yung 100. But 70 to 80 is already very good for me because free throw is very important, especially in a close game. These are the kind of shots that might bite you in the back or pull you through a tough game.
14 to 10 our score. Andoy Estrella breaking that zone. Rebounded by Harold Arboleda, one of the best in the league in terms of defensive rebounds. He averages 6.5 per game. Number 7 in the league. Matiliano for 3.
Nobody going near Matiliano to challenge that shot. But I'd just like to point out, Migs, there seems to be a little more oomph in the step of Harold Arboleda. We know that he started this season with a hamstring injury. Right now, slowly but surely rounding up into top form.
That's a great sign for Muntinlupa. Matiliano, hearing it from the crowd, slowly but surely becoming a crowd favorite here in Muntinlupa. Arboleda, oh, that's a charge against Alano.
Moving screen para sa kanya. There was a movement of the hip.
Well, this three-point shot is brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. That is your number 1 scorer in the league, Domark Matiliano, scoring his first points against Sarangani. He is also shooting the basketball at a very efficient 49.5%, good for 9th best in the MPBL.
That's always impressive coming from a guard. Someone who hits from the outside to get that kind of percentage, 49.5. Rarely do you see that coming from volume scorers like Domart Matiliano.
It will be a baseline inbound for Sarangani. Their lead has been trimmed down to 1. 52 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Reggie Boy Basivas answering back for the Marlins.
This is one guy I'm sure Coach John Calios wants to get going in this season. Reggie Boy Basivas, someone who can stretch the floor, put the ball in the basket, drive strong to the hoop, only averaging 5.6 points per game, a little over 5 rebounds.
(17-13) our score, 26 seconds to go. That's the second foul on Gabby Espinas, who is obviously unhappy about it. Alano will proceed to the line. Justin Alano used to play the 3 position para sa Parañaque before. But now he has to play a lot of power forward for Muntinlupa. He's being joined by Matiliano, Arboleda, alongside John Quinto and Steven Cudal. Sarangani's with Reggie Boy Basibas, Ivan Ludovice, Gabby Espinas, Danny Marilao, and Andoy Estrella. 2-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Ludovice onto Andoy. The drive and kick. Ivan with the fake. 5 on the shot clock. Ludovice will miss. Great rebound by Marilao, but a sorry miss on the putback. 1 second to go. Matiliano. And that's going to do it, folks, for our first quarter action. A tight game here in Muntinlupa. 17-14. A good start by Sarangani, but Muntinlupa slowly but surely able to trim it down.
Yeah, that's right. You know, Sarangani just came out, lights out shooting, but John Katimbuhan and company able to get them in this game, just down by 3 at the end of the first 10 minutes. Setting up the table, Ivan Villanueva getting those baskets. The crowd still waiting to roar at the loudest here at the Muntinlupa Sports Complex. We will definitely see that if the Cagers can get it going in the next few quarters.
17-14 our score after 1. Back here in the Muntinlupa Sports Complex, where we have actually been granted with close games for your Mpbl Friday, beginning with that victory of Bataan against Laguna. Laguna actually had a comeback, but Bataan able to hold on. And then on the second game, Bacoor, after having the lead in the second quarter, losing it to San Juan, they were able to get it back at the last minute of the ball game as they snapped their 3-game losing skid against the San Juan Knights in a very, very big victory. Kita natin si Commissioner Kenneth Duremdes, our head of operations na si Emer Oreta, at ang ating marketing head na si Seth Hamora on the sidelines. Mix Gomez at your service alongside Javi Palanya and Sidney Crespo. Second quarter action, 17-14 our score. And here's Gabby Espinas, always at the post. Could not make the fadeaway shot. Referee will point Muntinlupa's way.
Little Elijah Wan shake on that post move by Gabby Espinas. Just couldn't get that fall away to drop. But a crucial stop right here for Muntinlupa to begin this second quarter. As you look at the first quarter field goal story on your screens, clearly a struggle by the Cagers, 3 out of 11, samantalang 6 out of 18 ang Sarangani. Also not doing too well, but still ending up on top.
Stephen Godal finding himself under two players of Sarangani, Danny Marilao and Andoy Estrella. And he's still holding on to that basketball kahit na tinutulungan siya ng lahat ng tao. A teammate, a referee, and an opponent to try and get up.
That's just great heart right there shown by Stephen Godal. Despite losing the basketball, dove for it. Just not sure. I hope Andoy Estrella is okay.
Tinabi niya lang eh. Alis ka dyan. Walang problema para kay Stephen Godal. 3 on the shot clock here. Matiliano will fire. No! 17 to 14 our score. Ivan Ludovice fresh off a 22-point performance. They go to Andoy. A miss on the layup. Rebound Alano. So can Muntinlupa capitalize in this possession? They have been down in this ball game since the very beginning. Quinto onto Alano. They swing it to Matiliano. 7 on the shot clock. Where will they go? Now it's with Stephen Godal. Arboleda will fire. Too strong. Rebound. That's a foul against Justin Alano.
Muntinlupa has just taken too long of going into their offensive sets. They have to be able to set up the table right away. You know, it's good to have patience, but when you take that long with the shot clock dwindling, the pressure to take the shot, syempre, lalaki yan as the clock winds down.
Koy Alves papasok dito for the first time to replace Justin Alano. Muntinlupa with that zone. What type of zone is this?
It's a modified 2-3 zone.
Great effort right there by Harold Arboleda. Matiliano running the floor. This is what he wants. Koy Alves. No numbers for Muntinlupa. Almost a travel there. Alves will get it back against Basibas. Spin. Another spin. And there's a foul.
But you could see that he really wanted those 2 points. Talking about Koy Alves getting the ball in isolation on that right side of the basket. Fishing for the foul against Reggie Boy Basibas.
Balik dito, Paul Sanga and Donald Gumaru, who both of them started this ball game para sa Sarangani. And how about this guy? How can you characterize the way he plays? He's very lengthy. He sometimes plays as a big, sometimes plays as a 3 para sa Muntinlupa.
You love to have players like this. Ito si Koy Alves because yun nga, he brings a lot of intangibles because of the physical tools that he has. Don't let the lean frame fool you. This guy able to mix it up with the best of them inside. Makes up for it because of the length that he has.
Alright, so let's take this time to listen to our courtside reporter, Sydney Crespo.
Sarangani has been faced with tough home teams in their last few games as Coach John Calles commends his team na luckily hindi sila naapektuhan ng home crowds. Malaking tulong that they're still able to keep their composure regardless. Sarangani, despite their winning streak, is heading on to this game with a big reminder na in the Mpbl, any team can win, hence they can't be complacent. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Sydney, for that report. Yeah, that's a great point. They have been on the road, no? Itong Sarangani Marlins multiple times here in our 2022 season. But a good sign for them is that they will be defending their home court for the first time this coming September. So the MPBL will be going to Jensen on a Monday and Tuesday, and then lilipat sa Sarangani for your Friday and Saturday games the second week of September. So abangan niyo po yan. 17 to 15 our score. Sarangani up by 2. 7.5 remaining in the second quarter. Tapped away. Kick ball against Harold Arboleda.
And Muntinlupa again not getting anything on their half-court set. Turning the ball over. But just down by 2 at this point. Sarangani also struggling to get shots to go with that modified 2-3 defense that the Cagers are showing. Turnover story on your screen, 6-2 plus 4 ang Muntinlupa.
Chance to run. Muntinlupa, ooh, another turnover right there. We were just talking about those turnovers, and they still haven't capitalized on them. Those could have been the first 2 points though para sa Muntinlupa.
What a wasted opportunity right there. Miscommunication between Quinto and Alves. That was an easy 3-on-1 break.
Well, let me check that. That wasn't a turnover. It was a missed shot. Nevertheless, a fast break opportunity para sa Muntinlupa. Paul Sanga will fire. That's his third three in the ball game.
Whenever he flicks his wrist going back after that follow through, you know that's going in.
So yun ang kailangan natin bantayan kung babalik yung wrist niya. 9 points in the ball game on 3 threes. And a steal now for Paul Sanga. Oh, what a pass. He gets the ball back. Thought he was going to shoot that three. Gabby Espinas asking for that ball. Mistimed right there by Ivan Ludovice. Matiliano onto Arboleda. Corner. Kantimbuhan. A miss. The crowd is just waiting for Muntinlupa to make a basket.
That's right, and that's excellent defense right there by Marilao, preventing Koy Alves from getting that offensive rebound. And I'd like to see more playmaking by Katimbuhan. We saw him when they played in Nueva Ecija. A lot of excellent bounce passes. He is able to break down the defense, but right now, not a lot of touches for him. Instead, settling for catch-and-shoot opportunities.
8 on the shot clock for Sarangani. Here's Gabby Espinas. He likes that post. Pass inside. Sorry miss for Marilao. And again, Muntinlupa, they're getting the stops, but can they convert on the offensive end? Alves, they swing it to Matiliano. Being defended by Perumingan. Balik kay Alves. 8 on the shot clock. Another miss. Rebound Arboleda. Third try. Good block by Paul Sanga. Takbo sa kabila. Danny Marilao for 2.
That was just 2 points waiting to happen for you right there. The frustration of the Cagers mounting as they were unable to hit 2 points once again on their offensive possession. And you can see here the forward pass. Espinas, Gumaru to Marilao for the finish.
That is our move of the game, our epic move of the game in partnership with OKBet. Own the win. Danny Marilao, babawi mula sa kanyang mintis kanina sa loob para sa Sarangani. Our score, 22-15. We would like to celebrate the victory of our very own Mpbl Pacquiao, the son of our founder Manny Pacquiao in the Mpbl. Mpbl's boxing career is now back on track after beating Dylan Merican in California. Mpbl won the 3-round amateur bout via a shutout and improved his record to 4 wins and 1 loss. So we are always happy to have our Filipinos represent our country in different stages of the world. And ngayon, ang anak ng pambansang kamao na si Manny Pacquiao, si Mpbl naman, nagtatayo ng bandera ng Pilipinas as Domark Matiliano makes a 3-point shot, badly needed by Muntinlupa.
Well, congratulations to Mpbl Pacquiao, but congratulations as well to Domark Matiliano for getting that basket for the Cagers, a much needed one, as you said, makes a trim this deficit to just 4 now, and a chance right here to get to within 2 or 1.
A miss mula kay Kantimbuhan. Great effort by Arboleda. No foul, and that's going to be off of Matiliano. we talked about is time and time again in this game, these points of Muntinlupa have been hard-earned. And certainly, it hasn't been easy for any of its players. On the other end, they're playing defense at a good rate. This zone is still being implemented by Muntinlupa. Paul Sanga with another three.
Oh, you cannot expect anything better from Muntinlupa from that defense. They were all over that shot. It's just that Paul Sanga, just an excellent three-point shooter.
Well, check that. It was actually a two-point shot. He stepped on the line as Ivan Villanueva retrieves and scores that basketball.
Right now, Muntinlupa able to trade baskets, but they cannot afford to do that right now as they're still down by 5 at this point.
4 points in the ball game para kay Ivan Villanueva. 3:44 remaining in the second quarter. It's 24-20. Ang ating talaan, Donald Gumaru. Oh, good shot right there.
Maneuvering the defense, getting to the open spot. 2 points right there by the former Arellano University Chief.
Balik tayo sa Muntinlupa. Where will the offense go? Kantimbuhan steps back, misses the three. Can Sarangani increase their lead? Perumingan, almost a steal. Tapped away, that's off of B-Boy Engyo.
And you saw that previous offensive possession by Muntinlupa. The movements, not really a lot of intention in them. Just empty plays but not materializing para sa kanila. You have to be able to make use of all of those passes to be able to get a good shot.
There's Matiliano being defended by Gumaru. Under 3 minutes remaining before halftime. Villanueva looking for Arboleda. Harold onto Kantimbuhan. Crossover. Pass inside. Beautiful feed, but a sorry miss mula kay Villanueva.
That could have brought the crowd to its feet, and I'd like to see more of Kantimbuhan handling the basketball. You saw what he did with that pass.
Balik tayo to Sarangani against that zone. Gumaru. Cross court. Perumingan will fire. No go. Rebound Engyo. Forward pass. Kantimbuhan on the chase. Footwork being exhibited by John Kantimbuhan, and he will score.
Patience and poise. Two-piece for the 2 points para kay John Kantimbuhan.
You gotta love the crowd here in Muntinlupa. Even though their team is not scoring that much, when they do, they will make some noise for their very own Muntinlupa Cagers. 7 on the shot clock for Sarangani. Gumaru, feed inside. Gabriel will miss, and it's retrieved by Arboleda. 8 rebounds para kay Harold Arboleda. Matiliano wide open. No go.
Now the crowd slowly getting into it, Migs.
90 seconds before halftime. They're gonna want their shots to go in and for Paul Sanga to start missing again for Sarangani. But it's John Gabriel making them pay on the mid-range.
When you let an ex-PBA player have that kind of open shot, more often than not, they will definitely find the bottom of the net. And John Gabriel, one of the ex-PBA players playing here for the Marlins.
Oh, what a move by Kantimbuhan. Put back right there for Ivan Villanueva.
Oh, making up for the missed basket off of that great pass by Kantimbuhan a few possessions ago. Villanueva flexing his muscles for those 2 points.
Might have gotten some inspiration mula kay Mark Mantuano as Ivan Villanueva. As we take a look at this touchdown play of John Kantimbuhan spinning his way through, able to lay it in to get the crowd going. Although he missed the next layup, Villanueva is there to score and flex for our Mpbl viewers. 28-24 our score. Mula sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao at sa iba't ibang sulok ng mundo, maraming salamat sa inyong panonood ng Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. And you are catching us live for the very first time on a Friday on 1PH and Signal Play. But then, of course, you can catch all the games live on the Facebook live streams of the Mpbl in Facebook and on YouTube. And we would also like to greet our listeners mula sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. 28 to 24 hour score under a minute remaining before halftime between Sarangani and Muntinlupa. The Cagers still with that zone. 6 on the shot clock, tapped away. Ludovisi on the recovery, bodies on the floor, and ends up with Gumaru, who could not beat the buzzer. 30 seconds here, a 7-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Kantimbuhan, the drive.
The ability to decelerate once again displayed by John Katimbuhan. He can't always go fast, and that time Katimbuhan proving that the change of pace was beneficial to him.
Miss mula kay Kaunan. Put back is good for Ivan Ludovisi. 2 seconds remaining here. Kantimbuhan looking ahead. And he will miss the half-court heave. So that will do it, folks. It has been a day of close games in the Mpbl, and right now we are only separated by 4 points between Sarangani and Muntinlupa.
Muntinlupa doing a good job of hanging in there, but the three-point shooting set up by this guy early on in this game has helped Sarangani keep the Cagers at bay and still maintain a slight advantage over them at the end of 2.
You can see the mastery mula kay Paul Sanga and the follow-through as well by, or as mentioned by Javi Palanya. Another great showing mula sa kanya, and making that trust of Coach John Callius worth it. Coming from Caloocan all the way to Sarangani, that's Paul Sanga. Kasama siya ngayon ni Sidney Crespo.
Yes, Mix and Javi, I am with our best player at the half, of course, Paul Sanga from Sarangani. Paul, first of all, great performance in the first half. Pero for you personally, your thoughts tungkol sa pinakita nyo in the first 2 quarters?
Ano lang, we just have to stick sa game plan namin at sa system namin. Siguro may mga open looks kami, pero yun yung game plan namin. Then siguro we have our adjustment sa second half.
Alright, at aabangan namin yan in the second half. Huwag po kayo alis mga kaliga. Halftime interviews when we return. Welcome back mga kaliga. This is your OK Bet Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. I'm Sydney Crespo and we are here at the halftime for our main game between the Muntinlupa Cagers and the Sarangani Marlins. I am joined by our team owners, Attorney Jem and Sir JR, and of course, Konsehal Lester Baez. So, Attorney Jem, I'll start with you. Attorney, at least for me, this is my third time this season here in Muntinlupa Sports Complex and every time, ganito talaga tayo kapuno. So ano pong masasabi nyo sa suporta ng mga taga Muntinlupa sa ating team?
Unang-unang nagpapasalamat tayo sa lahat ng mga Muntinlupeño sa walang sawang pagsuporta nila sa ating Team Muntinlupa Cagers. Ever since, mula first season hanggang ngayon, wala kayong sawa sa pagkapanood at pagsuporta sa Team Muntinlupa Cagers. At partida pa ngayon, sobrang lakas ng ulan pero napakarami pa rin tao. Kaya maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga Muntinlupeño. And hello din sa mga Marileño. Hi!
Ayan. Ngayon, Attorney Jem, baka may gusto po kayong batiin or pasalamatan.
Binabati ko si Ate G. Hello! At syempre, binabati ko rin yung ating mga kasama sa ating Gemina C Foundation. Sana papatuloy po nating supportahan. Thank you!
Alright, thank you so much, Attorney Jem, for joining us. Now, of course, we have Sir JR, the team owner of Sarangani. Sir, your team has very good win-loss record this season. Your thoughts on this and how do you think your team is special sa season na ito?
I think from the beginning of the season, a group of guys committed to a big team goal, which is to sacrifice everything for the better good of the team. So you have guys from ex-PBA players, are not well-known guys. They all just committed to just winning hopefully a championship at the end of the season.
Exactly, sir. Now, this is your chance to say your thank yous, maybe greet your friends and family.
Yes, I want to say thank you to OK Bet, our major sponsor, the whole Sarangani province, our local LGUs out there. We'll be having our first game September 9 and 10. Hopefully everyone can come out and support us. I want to say hi to my wife, Lynn Navarro, our other sponsor, El Supreme, Cleon and Clyde. I want to greet a happy anniversary to Coach Alex and Jamaica. I want to say hi to Boss Seth and Boss Richmond over there. Hi, guys.
Thank you so much, Sir JR. Now, of course, lastly, we have Konsehal Lester Baez. Counselor, yun nga, nabanggit ko kanina, no, ang dami nating mga fans, supporters dito sa Muntinlupa at napakarami ring mga kabataan. Sir, do we have youth projects for them, maybe for sports?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, I'd like to greet everyone. Dahil dito, ang dami natin ngayon dito. Thank you for coming. Go Cagers! It's good you asked kasi our city government, talagang ang concentration is youth. In fact, we have about more than 80,000 scholars here. And in fact, Muntinlupa is trying to be the next sports hub sa NCR. We just built yung ating Olympic-sized swimming pool here and yung ating bagong gawang track and field para talagang dinidevelop namin ng aming mga local athletes. Kaya nga itong very good opportunity to na binabalik natin tong ating love for basketball after 2 years of pandemic. So thank you sa Mpbl for doing this. Thank you.
And there you go, Counselor. Meron pa po ba kayong mga gustong batiin or pasalamatan?
Wala, secret.
Ayan, thank you so much again for joining me. More MPBL action when we return.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.
Alright, Mpbl fans, halftime na! Fresh ka pa ba? Samahan niyo akong maghanap ng Jinky Beauties tonight. Kapag nais patang kayo ng ating live cam, abay kumaway-kaway na kagad at mag-smile so you could win some gift items mula sa Jinky Skin. Ayan na! Woo! Alright! Yan ang ating mga Jinky Beauties tonight. Again, you could win some gift items mula sa Jinky Skin. Mukhang eto na nga ang pagkakataon nyo ma-discover. Keep on smiling. Come on, wave and smile. Yan ang ating sabi ng Jinky Skin. At ngayon naman, Muntinlupa Sports Complex. Sa mga gustong magkaroon ng souvenir caps and shirts, itaas sa mga kamay. Ito na ang ating OK Bet. Caps and t-shirt toss. Come on, put your hands up. Itaas sa mga kamay. Iwagay-way. Doon sa pinakamaingay, ihahagis na ating mga OK Bet ang souvenir caps and shirts.
Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino sa Luzon, sa Visaya, sa Muntinlupa, ang bawat laro iaalay. Laban Muntinlupa, ang bawat laban na nakakababay. Dahil sa husay ng bawat talo sa anumang laban, kapag nag-3 points na, bawat bayay di matatalo. Buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo. Iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin. Sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Mpbl na, Mpbl na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Mpbl na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.
Halftime between Sarangani and Muntinlupa. The biggest lead of the ball game was 7 points by the Marlins. Muntinlupa, they have never handled the lead of the ball game so far. So the question is, can they do that in the third and fourth quarters? It has been a struggle in our last game here for your Mpbl Friday. Both teams nahirapan umiscore. We of course commend the defense of both Muntinlupa and Sarangani. But what else did you notice, Javi, between these two squads?
Well, both of them really, as you said, struggling to find the bottom of the net. Sarangani, makikita natin mamaya, only shooting 31.6% from the field. And in Muntinlupa, just under 30% at 27.6%. But you know, it has been the defense from both teams, a reason why both of them have been struggling to find those shots made para sa kanilang mga koponan. For Muntinlupa, it has been that modified 2-3 zone, although Paul Sanga has done a good job of being able to bust that, but he has been the only guy hitting from the outside para sa Sarangani. Para naman sa Muntinlupa, natatagalan sila to go into their offensive sets and a lot of movements, not really very intentional and wasting a lot of time on that 24 seconds.
You can see the statistics, 31% field goals, 25% from 3 para sa Sarangani, 27% for Muntinlupa, also 25% from downtown. The rebounding, the effort has been there, Javi, but the conversion, not necessarily.
Yeah, that's right. And the turnovers here para sa Sarangani, 3 only para sa kanila, but they have converted 9 points off the 9 turnovers of the Muntinlupa Cagers, and I think this has been very important in them keeping the lead in this one, up by 30 to 26 as you look at the leading scorers. Paul Sanga, the only guy in double figures in this game with 11. Danny Marilao, Ivan Ludovice with 4 apiece. Reggie Boy Basibas with 3. And no other player, you don't see the usual Gabi Espinas in that lineup para sa Sarangani. Sa kabilang panig naman, Ivan Villanueva, Domart Matiliano, and John Katimbuhan with 6 each.
Alright, so we will begin our third quarter between Muntinlupa and Sarangani. Again, no Kit Jimenez para sa Sarangani Marlins because of that quad strain. Walang Argel Mendoza on the other end who had a hyperextended knee, no? For the Cagers. So we will begin with the score of 30 to 26. Mix Gomez at your service alongside Javi Palanya and Sidney Crespo. It looks like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Javi, is this still a zone by Muntinlupa?
Yes, this still is.
Ganun pa rin. They're sticking to it, which certainly gave problems against Sarangani in the first half. Ivan Ludovice getting an open look, missing from 3. Rebound by Reggie Boy Basibas. So those two players are starting the third with Donald Gumaru, Paul Sanga, and Gabi Espinas. On the other end, para sa Muntinlupa, it's Ivan Villanueva, John Katimbuhan, Eugene Madera, B-Boy Engyo, and they also have Ralph Alba as Villanueva scores inside.
And I said this in the first half, I'd like to see John Katimbuhan handle that basketball more and make plays for his teammates. That time getting it successfully to Villanueva. Here he is once again.
Katimbuhan, kick out, dangerous pass right there. It still ends up with Madera, who makes that basket. Now we're tied at 30 all. Again, Muntinlupa, hindi pa sila nakakatikim ng kalamangan sa ating laro.
And I'm sure they really want to put on a show in this third and fourth quarter in front of their home crowd as Paul Sanga releases the arrows on that one. But talking about Muntinlupa, they don't want na mapahiya yung kanilang fans dito. Ang dami nilang dumayo dito despite the rain. Makes still a very sizable crowd. In fact, we're almost filled to the Raptors here.
And a passionate crowd, as we should say. They have been waiting for Muntinlupa to make those baskets so they could make a lot of noise here in their sports complex. Here's Gumaru. Pull up. Oh, that's good off the glass.
Now that's a patient offense that Sarangani has not really been able to do because of the modified 2-3 zone that Muntinlupa has been giving them, forcing them into a lot of hurried shots. But right there, Gumaru getting patient and draining the shot.
Great patience as well mula kay John Katimbuhan on the 1-2 step. Muntinlupa needed that basket after Paul Sanga and Donald Gumaru were able to score for Sarangani. Here's Sanga again, same angle. That time around, too strong. Chase for the ball, Katimbuhan, one guy to beat. Good strip from behind, courtesy of Gumaru.
Good recovery on the defensive end right there. One man to beat para kay Katimbuhan.
Vincent Alba giving up that foul on the floor. That guy, a homegrown of Muntinlupa, he started this ball game. Let's listen in kay Sidney Crespo. Sid, go ahead.
Coach Jules Hidalgo admits it's a tough task to face the talented Sarangani squad. The experience of Gabi Espinas and the other ex-pro players, the hustle of their guards both offensively and defensively, and the momentum that they have right now. Yan ang top concerns ng Muntinlupa in this game. It is important for them to be able to support one another and play as one unit. Cohesiveness nga ang isa sa mga hinahanap ni Coach Jules, but that is something that they need to be more patient about at kailangan daw nilang simulan sa maayos na communication. Don't go anywhere mga kaliga, magbabalik po ang Mpbl.
Cohesion through communication. Yan po ang report ni Sydney Crespo before we went into the break. That being said, Happy, what have you seen so far with Muntinlupa in the early parts of the second half?
Well, they've had good opportunities at the basket, just not able to get those to drop as Engyo aggressively driving to the hole and getting a foul on that expedition. They have been doing it on the opposite end of the floor, forcing Sarangani into a lot of tough shots because of that modified 2-3 zone. But consistency on the offensive end is what they need. Katimbuhan, sometimes successful in being able to make plays for himself and for his teammates, sometimes being erratic and making wild decisions with the basketball.
B-Boy Engyo, 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists in the ball game for the former. Well, he was that star for Muntinlupa in the Lacan season. Very athletic, was giving us highlight dunks. Easily one of the crowd favorites here in their very own sports complex. But Paul Sanga looks very comfortable in today's ball game.
Just a beautiful setup right there. That screen off that corner. And Paul Sanga just a master coming off of those screens and hitting that three-point shot. You saw that follow through once again, that flick of the wrist.
17,
Paul Sanga.
There you go, 17 points and 5 3-point shots para kay Paul Sanga. We talked about it. If he starts very well, more often than not, he will continue to shoot that ball on a good percentage. And great for him to recover because after making his first 3, he missed his next 3 tries. Pero patuloy lang, natitira yan si Paul Sanga para kay Coach John Calios. It's 40-34, 6.5 remaining in the third frame. Tapped away by Gabby Espinas. So Muntinlupa, they have Villanueva, Engyo, alongside Bandera, Matiliano, and Katimbuhan on the floor. On the other hand, it's Basibas, Espinas, Sanga, Gumaru, and Ludovice for Sarangani.
And Mix, going back to Paul Sanga, this is a welcome sign for him because he really struggled badly in their last game against the Laguna Cries Heroes. Only 1 out of 10 from three-point country and 1 out of 11 overall as Matiliano, who just checked into the game, drains a three-pointer of his own.
Domark Matiliano, from time to time he comes alive for Muntinlupa, but the question is, can he be consistent as the leading scorer for the Cagers? Basibas cannot answer back. Lead is just 3 points here.
And now maybe there is an adjustment period that Matiliano is going through coming off the bench. As we know, he usually starts para kay Coach Jules Hidalgo. So maybe, you know, the timing of getting his pace, his rhythm on the floor, something that he has to work on coming off the bench.
An interesting thing as well para sa Muntinlupa, we haven't seen much of Engyo and Arboleda playing together. Tingnan natin kung magbabago yan in the last 2 quarters of play. Here's Gumaru for 3. That's short. Rebound. Donald gets it back. Ludovice. His turn. Can't make it. Engyo with the board. Matiliano looking ahead. Again, he likes the open court and he lays it up and in.
The glide, the fly, the finish para kay Domark Matiliano.
Oh no. Good thing for Muntinlupa. That was a miss by Paul Sanga. Matiliano seems to be limping a little bit. Let's see if that will be a concern for Muntinlupa. But he does have some bandage on his right knee. Maybe Sydney can ask the Muntinlupa coaching staff about that later on. Katimbuhan onto Villanueva. 4 on the shot clock. Ivan will fire. No go. Rebound. It ends up with Sarangani and a foul given up by John Katimbuhan.
Only the 4th team foul right here para sa Muntinlupa.
We bring you this epic move of the game in partnership with OKBet. Own the win. Domark Matiliano able to use that hang time against Paul Sanga, the lefty, onto his dominant hand. Crucial points para sa Muntinlupa. Basibas, catch and fire, no go. Rebound, Villanueva. Chance for Muntinlupa to get the lead. Engyo, the drive. Good block by Basibas. And it's going to be a baseline inbound for the purple shirts.
That's excellent job by Basibas to stay in front of Engyo, not biting on the hesitation and forcing B-Boy into a very tough shot.
At ngayon, magsasabay na sina B-Boy Engyo and Harold Arboleda. Uupo si John Cantimbuhan. Matiliano. They go to Villanueva. That has been working all night long.
Whether it be Catimbuha to Villanueva, Matiliano to Villanueva, the important thing is he finishes it with a basket, and this thing happens.
And that's why he is an instant crowd favorite. He always activates the people watching, supporting the home team. Now they get their first lead, 41-40 in favor of the home squad. Ivan Villanueva giving the edge. Muntinlupa has been playing catch-up basketball all night long until that very last basket by Ivan Villanueva. The hook shot that has found the bottom of the net time and time again. And because of that, Ivan again activates the crowd here in Muntinlupa. He's up to 8 points and 4 rebounds, giving the Cagers their first lead of the ball game, 41-40. 4 minutes remaining in the third. Espinas posting up. That's the angle that he likes.
Yep, that's right. But Muntinlupa, they have stuck with this zone the whole game, and they will take that because that was a well-challenged shot by Gabby Espinas.
Engyo for 3. No! Could have brought the house down. And would this be the time for Gabby Espinas to take over para sa Sarangani? Paul Sanga locating Danny Marilao. Balik kay Ludovice. They're gonna go to Espinas, but he's denied inside. Feed. Great pass by Andoy Estrella locating Danny Marilao.
And that is the importance of having a guy like Andoy Estrella coming off your bench. Look at him here, creating an opportunity for Marilao, catching Arboleda on the backside, attracting Ivan Villanueva, drawing the help, and giving it up at the last moment to Danny Marilao. 2+1 special coming right up para sa kanya.
Substitutions right here. Pasok sina John Quinto, Coy Alves, and Steven Cudal for Muntinlupa. Can they provide the spark off the bench for the Cagers in the second half? Danny Marilao, 6 points and 4 rebounds. Could not complete the 3-point play. It's 44-41. 2-1 press para sa Sarangani. There's Arboleda. And then a zone now by the Marlins. Quinto onto Alves. 4 on the shot block. Coy Alves. Miss foul. That's against Steven Cudal.
Clear call there by our baseline referee. A push on Gabby Espinas. And now 2 shots coming right up for the former rookie MVP of the NCAA, former San Miguel Beerman. Still such a talent itong si Gabby Espinas, you know, despite the advanced stage. I wouldn't even want to mention that, but like, you know, the experience that he has had in his whole basketball career, still very much a valuable asset for any team that has him.
How about his ability to take over? Remember that Bacoor game in Marikina where he was the best player with 22 points and 8 rebounds. That's the same game where Kit Jimenez had 32 big ones. But because Gabby Espinas was the one who took control in the fourth quarter, sa kanya ibinigay yung best player of the game.
That's right. He definitely knows when to step up. That's the veteran in him. You could be on cruise control for the whole match, but when it matters the most, those big moments, he steps up.
46-41. Muntinlupa again looking for answers after getting the lead at 41-40. Kantimbuhan onto Quinto. Bounce pass. Kick out. 8 on the shot clock. Arboleda. They swing it to Quinto at the corner. No go. Alves miss on the putback, and that is another foul against Steven Cudal.
That's a similar call made by our referees, and that's a second straight loose ball foul on Steven Cudal. That has not really been well for them because they are already over the limit. 2 shots once again this time para naman kay Danny Marilao.
I have a question for you. Do you think Muntinlupa lacks shooters?
They definitely do. And it shows in the number sheet that the low percentage that they have from the three-point area in their last game. Only 4 three-pointers made para sa kanila out of 17 attempts. And we all know how important the three-point shot is to any team nowadays.
There's Kit Jimenez missing today's ball game, but just for everyone to know kung gaano siya kalaking kawalan, no, para sa Sarangani. Kit Jimenez is the second best scorer in the league, 18.5 per ball game. He averages 6.5 defensive rebounds. That's number 9 in the league. Number 8 in steals at 2.1. Number 2 in fouls received. And he is one of the best free throw shooters, making 4.6 at a very efficient 79% from the line. And he also makes 2.5 3-pointers per game, averaging 30 minutes para kay Coach John Calles. And I say that because he is part of the top 10 in all of those categories as Danny Marilao makes a basket.
That's crazy, Migs. And that just goes to show that Kit Jimenez, there were a lot of doubts in the first few matches where he exploded and then struggled in some games. But definitely right now, I say Kit Jimenez is a bona fide Mpbl superstar.
And one will not be surprised that he will be selected in the Mythical 5 at the end of the season. But still a long way to go. Halfway done. There's Kit Jimenez, obviously a crowd favorite. Anytime you see his highlight being uploaded, it's going to reach a lot of viewers.
And for good reason.
And for good reason. And by the way, na-report din ni Mika Abisamis that he will be holding free clinics to help out the youth para maituro niya rin ang kanyang mga kaalaman. 9-0 run for Sarangani. Arboleda cannot answer back. So napako na ang Muntinlupa sa 41 points after getting their first lead of the ball game.
I'm actually surprised that Coach John Calles only played zone ngayon. Now, a struggle for Muntinlupa to get something going on their offensive sets. Really showing para sa Cagers.
That brought me to ask whether or not they lack shooters. Kasi kita-kita mo the way they distribute that basketball. No one really has that determination to shoot it. Much like Paul Sanga na pag papunta pa lang sa kanya yung bola, alam mo na, nararamdaman mo na he's gonna shoot that basketball.
Yeah, that's right. If you look at this roster by the Muntinlupa Cagers, there is really no knockdown shooter except maybe for Mac Montilla, but he is not gonna see action in today's game. And Biboy Engyo, occasionally has that ability to knock down that shot from the outside. But there is nobody like a Paul Sanga, like an Ivan Ludovice on this Muntinlupa Cagers squad. That's why they are sorely lacking in that department.
Well, let's see if anyone would be able to surprise us in the last 11 minutes of play. 51-41. An 11-0 run for Sarangani. The crowd definitely would want someone to make these baskets. Villanueva, too strong. Rebound Alano. Kick out. It ends up with Kantimbuhan. 10 on the shot clock. Almost a turnover. And there's a foul.
Relentless in attacking the basket. Trying to set up his teammates. Itong si John Kantimbuhan. Getting a foul from Ludovice on that occasion. But they find themselves down by double digits right now as we wind down this third period.
There's Coach John Calios, able to build a powerhouse of the team in Sarangani. Used to coach for Caloocan. Big task para kay Coach John Calios in this season, being with a contender on a very tough South Division, currently behind Batangas and Zamboanga. 9 on the shot clock, 37 on the game clock. Kick out, Arboleda. 2 seconds to go. One has to fire. Villanueva cannot make it. Possession now belongs with Sarangani. Estrella, no more shot clock. 17 on the game clock. Again, it's also great to see Andoy Estrella back in action here in the Mpbl. 4 seconds to go. Benumingan to Espinas at the corner. That's a 3. Wow! Gabby Espinas not only showing us the skills that he has on the post, but the outside shooting as well.
What a heartbreaker right there for the Muntinlupa Cagers. They played great defense until the very last moment. See here, the extra pass by Tricky Peromingan to a wide open Gabby Espinas, the last guy you would think would attempt a three-pointer para sa Sarangani Marlins. But actually, he does have that shot in his arsenal occasionally. He could definitely hit that, showing that right there as he punctuates the third period.
24 points para sa Sarangani in the third kontra sa 15 ng Muntinlupa. It's a 13-point advantage entering the fourth and final frame. Paul Sanga and the Sarangani Marlins looking good here in Muntinlupa. They have a 13-point lead entering the fourth and final frame. A lot of people watching, including Parillagas and the Jensen Warriors, scouting their opponents in the south. Javi, ang ating quarter scoring.
Sarangani able to get 24 points in that third period and limiting Muntinlupa to only 15. And that's because the white shirts started to play 2-3 zone. Dared the Cagers to shoot from the outside. That's why they have struggled to get points. And most of those 15 came from inside incursions by John Catimbuan and setups to Ivan Villanueva. But other than that, it has been a difficult task for them to put up points, talking about the Muntinlupa Cagers.
Where will the answers come from in the fourth and final frame? Muntinlupa down by 11. Again, the last time that they won, it happened here on their home court. But they have lost 3 straight after that one. Sarangani, they are currently at 7 wins and 2 losses with back-to-back wins. Number 3 in the South Division kontra sa number 8 ng Muntinlupa. Sarangani has had a tough schedule beforehand, suffering losses from Zamboanga and Nueva Ecija. Still a long way to go. A lot of action for our Mpbl teams approaching the halfway mark of our 2022 season. And Javi, if you're Sarangani, looking at the standings, ngayon pa lang kasi may idea na tayo, no, kung sino yung contenders, as we should say, for our Mpbl championship. If you're Sarangani, how would you look at the standings? And then, what changes are you looking to implement para sa iyong koponan?
Well, you know, right now, parang naging blessing in disguise para sa kanila itong absence ni Kit Jimenez. And I'm saying this because you're seeing a lot of other people step up, and definitely pagbalik ni Kit, it will be easier para sa Sarangani and for Kit to be able to dominate games because there are a lot more problems for the defense to focus on.
We did talk about Bacoor getting 2 players in Jan Hamon and Dave Moralde, the possibility of Ian Milencio returning to them. So that also prompts everyone. No? These teams may have changes as well in the next days in terms of signings. There may be some trades as well. So abangan natin dito sa Liga ng Bawat Pilipino. And those might have impacts in our races in the North and South Divisions respectively. Kantimbuhan onto Villanueva. Stolen away by Peromingan. One guy to beat. Peromingan able to locate Sanga. Fading away. No go. Here's Domar Montiliano. Mid-range. That's good.
Feisty move right there by Montiliano. Creating separation and pulling up.
Domar Montiliano has 13 points, but those 13 points have come in spurts. So, hindi pa nangyayari nagkakaroon siya ng back-to-back baskets. Can he come alive here in the 4th and final frame as Andoy Estrella answers back with his first 2 points para sa Sarangani?
Oh, hard to believe that's not only the first 2 points of Andoy Estrella, but that's because he has affected a lot of the baskets for the Sarangani Marlins, setting up his teammates for a lot of good opportunities at the ring.
2 minutes and change gone by in the 4th, 11-point lead para sa road team. Here's Kantimbuhan, catch and fire, double flick of the wrist, could not make it. On the other end, Estrella's running. They go to Sanga, that's a beautiful feed, and Sanga will make Muntinlupa pay.
That is the value that a shooter, a floor spacer gives you. It really opens up a lot of opportunities. That time though, Paul Sanga able to get it from 3-point country. You see how they were very wary of an inside pass to Danny Marilao and a possible drive by Andoy Estrella, which made Paul Sanga wide open on the left corner for a specialty of the house.
And the bench of Sarangani knew it all along. Arrows up in the bullseye for Paul Sanga. 20 points on 6 made 3-point shots. Paul Sanga and Sarangani full control of this ball game. 20 points, 6 made 3-point shots, 2 rebounds as well. But more importantly, those 6 threes, he's shooting it at a 50% mark from the field.
And more importantly, Migs, he has shot better than the whole Muntinlupa squad. 3 out of 14 ang Cagers in this game. What an impressive performance from the outside, but really no surprises there because it's Paul Sanga.
Yeah. And great for him to bounce back from shooting 1 out of 10 in their previous game. B-Boy Engyo making a basket here. Muntinlupa running out of time. 8 points para kay Engyo, 59-47 our score. Here's Gabby Espinas, matched up against Ivan Villanueva. Good steal by Domar Montiliano. He averages 2.5 steals per game, number 3 in the league. There's a tech here. That's against Sarangani. Coach John Callis is very unhappy.
I think he needs to keep his cool here because this might just be a turning point in the game.
There it is, a technical foul against the bench of Sarangani. You know, Coach John Carlos is normally a nice guy. So if you see him like that, he's obviously upset.
That's right. You don't really see him complaining a lot. Actually, madalas nga, nagsasmile pa yan on the sidelines eh.
At pag nakausap mo yan, ang
Yeah,
hit-hit,
very
diba?
happy guy.
Oh, you can see that face right now, Coach John. Very unhappy at
I'd hate to be the referee right now.
yeah. Muntinlupa able to convert on the technical free throw. The question is, can they use this as their leverage to try and build the momentum badly needed by their squad with 7 minutes remaining? Coach John still talking to that referee.
And he has to be careful here because he might get called for a second technical. At last, tumigil na siya doon, preventing an expulsion from this game.
Sarangani with that zone. You mentioned that. They implemented it in the third quarter. That caused Muntinlupa a lot of problems, challenging their shooters. Biboy Engyo could not make it. 6 minutes and 30. Estrella, no go. Great effort on the board. Paul Sanga gets it. Second chance opportunity para sa Sarangani. Estrella, beat to no one. With the absence of Argel Mendoza, it's extended minutes for John Cantimbuan, and sometimes you would even see Harold Arboleda play the point para sa Muntinlupa. Here's Engyo, catch and fire, no! A lot of misses para sa Muntinlupa.
Yeah, and a lot of those coming from B-Boy Engyo. Has had a lot of good looks from three-point country, just unable to get it through the net.
Espinas, oh, wow.
Classic, vintage. What words do you want to use on that move by Gabby Espinas? Just a great showing right there by the veteran. 13 points now in this game para sa kanya.
Have you ever seen an ankle breaker in the post? I think that just happened. Wow, what a move by Gabby Espinas. Domark Matiliano, much needed basket for Muntinlupa.
I think it's high time for Matiliano to make a statement here. Prove to everybody why he is the #1 scorer in the Mpbl by taking over this game.
15 points para kay Domark Matiliano, but again, he hasn't scored consecutively for the Cagers. Can he come alive? Paul Sanga, another 3-point shot.
I tell you, even if there's defense right there, as long as that wrist goes back after that follow through, 10 out of 10 times that's gonna go in.
23 points, 7 3-point shots for Paul Sanga, making his case for best player of the ball game. Biboy Engyo, mid-range, no go. Sorry misses coming in. Oh, Marilao stepped out of bounds first.
The struggle's really just compounding here for the Muntinlupa Cagers.
Let's listen in to Sidney Crespo. Sid, go ahead.
Yes, Mix, kanina natanong mo about the knee support of Domark Matiliano. Actually, hindi daw yun ang iniinda niya, kundi back spasm na for 2 weeks. Kaya medyo may ingat raw talaga ang galaw niya dito. But they are treating it for the past 2 weeks and definitely may go signal pa rin naman to play. Back to you guys.
Well, Javi, I need you to tell everyone how hard it is to play with back spasms.
It is really very difficult, in fact, very painful. I am very lucky to not have gone through that in my playing career and even right now when I play recreationally. But, you know, a lot of players that went through that kind of injury, pag tatanungin mo sila, talagang sobrang hirap.
Oh, yes.
The struggle just to get out of bed, to walk even sometimes. It can, you know, sideline you for a whole season. In the PBA, Terence Romeo hasn't seen action because of that.
And here we are challenging Domark Matiliano to take over for Muntinlupa because they're down by 14 as finally a shot goes in para kay Biboy Engyo. Lead is 11, 4 minutes and 23 remaining in the fourth and final frame. Can they make consecutive baskets and make stops here? Talking about the home team. Uludovise finding an opening, just couldn't make it. Rebound Villanueva. But can Muntinlupa capitalize? Montiliano with the basketball. Again, he's battling back spasms. Arboleda looking for Engyo on the handoff. B-Boy is fouled.
Well, now that we know that Domart Montiliano has been saddled with back spasms the past couple of weeks, maybe we can expect B-Boy Engyo to take on that role of takeover man for this Muntinlupa Cagers squad, having scored a basket earlier. Now has 12 points in the game.
Engyo also recently recovered from a bruised thigh after colliding with Steven Cudal in practice. Villanueva thought about shooting it. They have 3 seconds on the shot clock. Cantimbuan will fire. That's a tough one. Kabila, Ivan Ludevise working with Paulo Quimenales, Ricky Peromingan, John Gabriel, and Paul Sanga. Sanga has 7 threes to his name. Step back. No go. Peromingan, no follow. It ends up with Cantimbuan. Oh, what a steal.
He just took that away from Cantimbuan. Talking about Ricky Peromingan. The fight in this kid is just incredible. Showing to be one of the great rebounding guards here in the Mpbl in his first season.
66-53, under 3 minutes remaining. The Muntinlupa fans not leaving. They're waiting for a miracle to happen. Will it come? Oh, Villanueva, that is not a good sight for us to see someone throwing that basketball to another person. Referee's already called the foul before he threw that ball to Paulo Quimenales.
There's that shot by Domart Montiliano and the box out battle for the rebound between Ivan Villanueva and Quimenales. And frankly, I don't understand why Ivan had to do that. Quimenales just had the same intention as Villanueva. They wanted to get the rebound, and for me there wasn't no foul play on what happened, no extracurricular activity, just contact, which is not really unnecessary.
And he was immediately called for a tech. Let's wait for the final calls here.
Technical foul is called on Muntinlupa Cagers number 14, Ivan Villanueva, for throwing the ball to his opponent. Third foul for Ivan Villanueva.
So he was called for a personal foul and then a technical foul. At penalty na ang Muntinlupa. So it's 3 free throws for Sarangani. And they're putting in Yuli Dator for the first time in this game to shoot the free throw. He makes it to the delight of the bench of Sarangani.
For good reason. Maybe that's why he was inserted, to make sure that they get that point for them. Every basket counts as they try to secure this victory against Muntinlupa. I'm sure Coach John Calio is very much aware of the strange things that can happen towards the end of a game dito sa Mpbl. And despite the 14-point lead, he is not resting on his laurels just yet. Gusto nyo talagang siguraduhin that they come up with victory number 8 in this one.
It will be a... so wala pa sa penalty ang Muntinlupa. Yun ang nilalaban ni Ivan Villanueva. That's why it's going to be a full court inbound for Sarangani. They have put in some new faces on the floor. Louis Amadle, a homegrown alongside Yuli Dator, Paulo Quimenales, John Gabriel, and Ivan Ludevise. And for Muntinlupa, they still have Matiliano, Engyo, Cantimbuan, Arboleda, and Villanueva. 2 minutes and 24 here, a 14-point lead for the Marlins.
It's a crucial offensive possession para dito sa Muntinlupa Cagers. They must score on this one. time not on their side anymore.
Matimbuhan onto Villanueva. They have been taking their time on the offensive end. Shot clock down to 5. Matiliano onto Matimbuhan. 2 seconds. That's a shot clock violation as this last 2 minutes is brought to you by Embassy Whiskey. Chill muna tayo. Another guy being implemented in by Coach John Calios, and that is Anthony Sistoza, another homegrown. Now, Javi, if you're Muntinlupa, obviously the talk of the season right now for your squad is injuries. They don't have Argel Mendoza. Wala pa rin si Mac Montilla. We've been talking about B-Boy Engio, who got injured in practice. He's still recovering. And now we hear about Domark Matiliano's back spasms. So that being said, what can we expect from Muntinlupa? And if you're a Muntinlupa fan, ano pa yung pwede mo abangan? And where is your confidence in terms of yung tiwala mo sa team for the rest of the season?
Well, definitely as a fan, you have to be patient and, you know, not expect too much from the Muntinlupa Cagers because of the situation that they are in. A lot more to come for them, definitely, as they go on this process of adjusting, finding their chemistry, and establishing their rhythm despite the injuries. So for me, as a fan, just temper your expectations as we go into this timeout. 67 to 53, 1 minute and 42 remaining in our last game.
Back here in the Muntinlupa Sports Complex, the Cagers down by 14 with 102 seconds remaining in our basketball game. Sarangani, it looks like they're going to go up to 8 wins and 2 losses with their 3rd straight victory after today. Muntinlupa will be dropping to 2 wins and 5 losses, their 4th straight defeat, unless a miracle happens here for the home squad. They have been talking about injuries para sa Muntinlupa all game long. Ivan Villanueva will miss. The shooting as well has been challenged here by Sarangani, who on the other end have gotten such a great display mula kay Mpbl Sarangani leading the way for the Marlins.
And you know, for Muntinlupa, we were talking about the injuries makes and tempering expectations. I think criticism not really in the room if you're a fan here for Muntinlupa, because that will not really help the development of the Cagers in this season. Your moral support is very much important as they try to maneuver this season and get through the problems that they are facing now.
Arboleda getting the foul. Harold Arboleda has been holding on to that shoulder. Now, of course, we would hope that that is not going to be an issue. He's just recovered from a hamstring injury as well. And he will go to the line, si Harold Arboleda. Now, Arboleda is number 8 in the league in fouls received at 3.8 per game. There's that hit. Number 5 in minutes at 31.2. Imagine coming off of a hamstring injury and playing 31 minutes per ball game.
You know, but he has always been a sort of an Iron Man throughout his career, able to withstand heavy minutes. Very durable player. But you know, of course, syempre, when you go into the latter stages of your basketball career, that gets doubly, triply hard for you to stay on the floor for a long time. And sometimes, and most of the time, it will take a toll on you.
And Arboleda has been a star in the Mpbl. Started with Parañaque, then played with Zamboanga, getting those boards. You can see that he has worked very hard in getting those rebounds in tonight's ball game. He hasn't scored that much, but effort-wise, hindi na kulang si Harold Arboleda. 10 rebounds para sa kanya in total. Alright, so if you're Sarangani, you get this third straight win. Nasaan ang kumpiyansa mo looking at the South Division?
All right, now at least you know that you can be able to come up with good games without your top gun, and the confidence for you going into the next few games with Kit Jimenez coming back will definitely be sky high. But you cannot go too high, you cannot go too low if you're the Sarangani Marlins. You have to keep your feet on the ground and still be able to assess the situation as it is.
Now that nakita na natin, Javi, bumalik na si Andoy Estrella. We didn't even see Jordan Santa Ana in action in today's game. Pero unti-unti pa natin ulit nakikita yung depth of Sarangani. Do you think that there's still a chance na mag-iiba pa rin yung rankings in the South Division?
Oh yeah, definitely. We've seen it throughout the season. We're not even halfway yet. The differences in the games, with surprise wins, surprise losses to teams with supposedly great rosters losing to teams with lesser teams on paper. Anything can happen here in the NPBL. That's the beauty of our league. It just adds to the excitement of the action, and that's the reason why we love this league.
Sarangani Marlins now officially get their 8th win of the season. Pangatlong sunod na panalo po para kay Coach John Calios and company. 8 wins and 2 losses even without Kit Jimenez because he's sidelined due to a quad injury. Muntinlupa will drop to 2 wins and 5 losses, their 4th straight defeat. As we take a look at our player of the game, brought to you by OKBet, the official partner of the Mpbl. With OKBet, own the win, and owning the win is Paul Sanga with 23 points and 7 threes.
Sarangani, they hit 9 3-point shots in this game, 7 of those belonging to Paul Sanga, outscoring the whole Muntinlupa Cager squad from downtown. Muntinlupa only had 4 3-pointers in this game out of 21 attempts. What an amazing feat for Paul Sanga, and this brings the importance, I reiterate the value of having an outside shooter like Paul Sanga.
He started off very well. He continued until the very end. Paul Sanga now is with Sydney Crespo.
Yes, Migs and Javi, kasama ko ngayon ang ating best player na kasama rin ang kanyang mga teammates. Ayan, from Sarangani Marlins, we have Paul Sanga with 23 big points. Paul, napakasaya ng mga teammates mo para sa'yo. But speaking of your teammates, how did you guys keep your composure kahit na sobrang lakas ng home crowd dito sa Muntinlupa?
Siguro yung coming to this game, siguro wala naman kaming parang tinitignan kung malakas yung kalaban or medyo mahina yung kalaban. Pero kumbaga pantay-pantay tingin namin, hindi lang kami liliis sa sistema namin kung ano yung pinapagawa sa amin ni Coach Jan. Tapos credit sa mga teammates ko na hindi pa rin naniwala pa rin sa akin kahit na off night ako ng mga 2 games.
And I was actually gonna say this also a comeback performance para sa'yo. Paano nakakatulong yung mga ganitong klaseng laro for you as a veteran player to continue improving in the game?
Siguro parang as a veteran siguro sa practice ginagawa namin yung best namin. Pinapakita ko na sa kanila na walang magkukumpiyansa at saka tuloy-tuloy lang hanggang ma-achieve namin yung marating namin yung top seed sa playoffs.
And another win for you guys. Paul, this is your chance para bumati.
Una sa lahat, nagpapasalamat ako kay Lord sa panalong binigay sa amin. Sa wife ko, si Chrysler, yung anak ko, si Cycler, yung family ko sa Cavite, yung family ko sa Taytay, si Judy Sanga, yung 2 pamangkin ko, si Cody, si Sean, yung utol ko nasa Dubai, si Nina, Tapos yung mga tropang Palmerawan tsaka tropang Palm Grove.
Alright, again, that's our best player of the game, Paul Sanga, brought to you by OKBet, the official partner of the Mpbl with OKBet, own to win. Mix and Javi.
Thank you, Sydney. No Kit Jimenez, no problem para sa Sarangani Marlins. 8 wins and 2 losses na para sa kanila, their third straight victory. Tomorrow, we will be in Pampanga for Mindoro versus Imus, Bacolod versus Pasig, and a great matchup to end the night. Batangas City looking to stay undefeated against a deadly squad on their home court, the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. Congratulations to Sarangani for once again defeating the Muntinlupa Cagers. In behalf of my partner, Javi Palanya, our courtside reporter, Sidney Crespo, my name is Bix Gomez, at dito po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.
Mpbl